Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Dr. Julian Avoa. Many of you asked me to do a little bit more research into each implant and their potential complications. So today I wanted to present or discuss issues related to meshes. Now, if you don't know this already, because we do as doctors know this, meshes in general have a significantly high complication rate, whether or not they're made out of non-absorbable material or whether or not they're made out of absorbable material. We do know that they are all associated with potential complications, and this is so important to discuss this with your doctor before allowing for a mesh to be placed in your body. Here's the worst part about the whole thing. In reading the many papers associated with mesh, I found that the non-absorbable meshes have up to a 30% complication rate, whether or not it is related to a foreign body reaction, a biofilm issue, or in a catastrophic situation of causing adhesions and erosion of these meshes into the bowel, for example, into the intestines, which requires a permanent colostomy bag or something, an ileostomy bag, to be placed for a person that was unaware of that potential complication. And that is horrendous to think about that. And in the cases of vaginal meshes, we all know what the potential issues are with erosion and chronic pain. One of the most common issues related to a complication from a mesh is going to be immediate or subsequent pain associated with that mesh. If you're suffering with pain associated with your mesh, almost certainly it's associated with a complication of that mesh, whether or not it's a rejection of the mesh itself, whether or not it is an infection of the mesh or a constriction, a shrinking of the mesh causing adhesions to stretch tissue near it, for example, the bowel. These are serious potential complications or actual complications because there's so many cases involved with this. Here is what's so sad, very sad, is that we as doctors document these complications in publications. We do a case study or a series review, and we know how bad these devices are, and yet they're still being used. Now, I can't judge every doctor that places a mesh, but I do know very easily how bad they are because the history, if you read the papers, you can see, 10% of these patients had bowel erosion. That's 10% of a potential anybody that used a particular mesh. Or 8% had biofilm contamination leading to removal. That's an incredibly high number. So what has happened is that we document these issues with these meshes. We know how bad they are. And then we move on. We learned from that experience, and so we're going to make it better next time around. But we don't remember the people that it hurt. When we learn from our mistake, from a mesh, for example, where 20% had a complication related to bowel erosion, that bowel was from a patient that it destroyed their life. And so we're good about moving on and learning from that experience, but we forget the patient themselves. And I don't want to forget those patients, and especially when doctors are playing down the complications of all of these issues. So keep that in mind. I wanted to share that with you, and I'm sharing this particular link for this particular paper. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.